Welcome to Books and Things. And it's actually spring out there. Well, you wouldn't know that tomorrow because tomorrow's supposed to be snowing and everything else. Anyway, it's New England. Stick around a few minutes, it'll change. Tonight's guest is Jane Desroriers. And she's an author. Jane wrote a book called Gonefishing, and a very interesting book. I just finished reading it last night. Welcome, Jane.
Thank you for having me, Tom.
What made you write the book?
Well, Gonefishingthehook developed over a conversation that I had with a woman I met at a concert. I previously had written a lot of newsletters called The Fishing Weekly that were, they were just kind of designed as bawdy little things, and it was about the town of Piney Bluffs that I created. So over the years, I would write these funny little newsletters, circulate them to all my friends, family, and anybody who cared to have a good laugh. And so I had quite a stack of them. And I had asked a few times somebody who I knew who was published and said, damn, they're funny, but I have no idea what you could do with them. So when I met this woman, when I met Suzanne Davis at a concert, and she said that's who she was. She was a professor at UConn, and I said, this is my last chance. I gave her the newsletters, and she said, you've got a great background of everybody. She said, pick one person and tell the story.
So you're Ethel.
There's parts of me that are Ethel, yes, because, well, I said it in the same time period of my growing up, so it was kind of easy. Yeah. Easy in the fact that, you know, things were familiar there, but not so easy with today's technology. Every time I turned around, I had to make sure that, no, there's no cell phones, there's no computers, there's no 911, there's none of whatever it was, because I tried to keep everything
because this was
to the period.
The 50s and 60s.
Well, the 70s.
Was it 70s?
Basically 70, she's in the 70s, yeah. I mean, growing up, she was born in 1950, so you have a little bit of her growing up. And then the majority of it takes place within the 70s time period,
Well, I found it interesting that they used a typewriter. A lot of people are not going to want to know what that is.
I know. There's lots of things. You know, you have to think about things like if you sit down and you have, today you would sit down and say, well, I'd like a cup of chamomile tea. Well, back then you had a cup of Lipton, something like that. So every time you did something like that, you had to second guess yourself,
Yeah, I find that with my grandson. I'll say something, you go, what?
What is that? What?
Never mind. Well, I think to just give you an idea of what the book is about, it's a little town that you made up. That's a beautiful little town, and might even been mystic at one point.
Yeah.
And just about some people who love to fish.
That's right. It's actually, I had gone to a town in Vermont at one point and stayed in a small boarding house for a weekend. And when I went out and about in the town, that was where that town came to mind. But I didn't know that because that was 40 years ago that I went to that town. So when I was writing Gonefishingthehook, I was like, here's my little town, and I knew where everything was. That was the greatest part. And then just the people depend on fishing because it's inland fishing, so it's lakes and fly fishing in the rivers and all of that. So it's not coastal. Which, so that's their whole life is how they depend on all of that.
It's a neat book, and I'm not that much into girly books, and I had to read the book because I was going to have you on the show, and you give it to me, and but I was getting through that thing. I wondered, where's she going with this? What's happening here? And you start to get involved with the people.
Yeah.
And I like the way you did that. You tie the people and you know everybody. And it's like, I'm from that area now.
Right. You want to go back there. That's what I've had a lot of people comment that, that even though it was set in the time periods and I'm working on the next book, which will be Gone Fishing the Line, because this is the hook, the line.
The hook, the line,
it's a trilogy. And there will be the sinker. And someone said, there's enough that you want to know about these people and continue to learn about this town and to be able to see them grow for a couple more generations out. Yeah.
Yeah, because you've left everybody kind of hanging there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
different things that are happening.
That's right. Yeah.
And you gotta
no
have
one's died yet. You know, that was when I was in
That's
a.
right.
I was in
killed somebody.
I was in a writing group, and there were a couple of fellows that were in that, and they would say to me, you know, I don't really know why I like your book, because nobody dies and nothing's blown up, but I can't wait to read it because I like these people.
And there's no sex. Just a hair.
Just a hair. I know. Yeah.
But that's the nice thing about it. It's everyday life, and it's stuff that does happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I read the book, and I thought it was great. What did you do before you decided to be an author?
I worked for 45 years in healthcare information management. So I worked in one of the hospitals in northeastern Connecticut, and then I worked for for a state agency before I retired. So I was always writing, but I was always writing very dry things, policies and all of that. So it's like, I think somebody said that in certain plays, it takes like a whole scene to get a person to cross the room. So it was like in technical writing and doing things like that, you have to be very specific. So
Yeah.
I think that's where part of it came into, is that I took that knowledge and put it into the book to get my characters to do the certain things they need to do.
Well, that's interesting, because when I wrote my book, I was a teacher who taught writing, and she was sick. And she had cancer, and I asked her if she'd take a look at my book. Mm-hmm. And it was still a rough draft. And one of the things she said was, what you're saying, the text, the technical things. She said, you got it down here as a warm day, it's 104 degrees. Is it in the morning? Is it in the afternoon? Mm-hmm. Is it a pretty sky out? Mm-hmm. Is it raining?
Yep.
And I thought, wow, by following her lead, I had it about 20 pages.
Right, yeah. Well, and I found that I did that as well, because it's like, as you go along and you're writing, it took me 4 years to write this. So that's why the book, as I go back on it now, I look at it and I see how my style of writing changed from the beginning to the end. I mean, the next book now, I'm a third of the way through it. So, I mean, this should be done within a year. But this book, it was trying to get all those details in, and every once in a while I would just go, okay, here's the next 2 chapters, and then it was like, where's the detail? Where's the sunny day? Where's the, what are we smelling? What are we eating? Because that's another good part about my book. And I've had people comment, when's the cookbook coming out? Because of the food that they eat. There's a diner in town, and there's the inn and all that.
Are those real recipes?
They are. They're coming.
Really?
They're actually one of the recipes for the cookies that Miss Ruthie bakes at the bakery, the fish-shaped cookies.
Oh, yeah.
I've used at a couple of the readings that I've done, and so I make those. But yes, they're.
So you gotta have a little side business out
That's
there.
it. Absolutely, I could open my own little bakery, and
The $1,000 fries.
Yeah, right. Oh, yes, yeah. Well, and I grew up in Canterbury, so part of in the book I mentioned that there is a fly rod, and the Hawes family, who were from Canterbury, that's what they did. They made fly rods. They made these custom-made fly rods. So now, if you get one, they are worth in the thousands of dollars.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
Huh. But I found that interesting, and you describe what they're eating and what they're drinking, and it's just, you want to sit next to her and say, hey, how about a piece?
It's
good.
It's like, can I sit in that diner too? Because I want to know what that is, or the bakery, especially the bakery. I think we really get into the food in the bakery, and all those.
Yeah, because the bakery is wonderful.
Yeah.
And that would be a center place where people would meet.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You go in for a donut and a coffee, and
right, and there's always, and that's what sometimes the business of the town gets conducted in one of those locations, as opposed to where it really is supposed to be happening.
The only thing you're missing is a cop for the donuts.
I know. Well, see, we haven't had anything bad happen, so we really haven't needed anybody. One of my characters may come into that in time, but no, we haven't had anybody yet.
No, I just thought, and this is the book, 233?
No, 300.
300.
Yeah.
That's long.
That was a lot, yeah. Shoosh.
337.
337, yes.
Yeah, it's usually about, the average book is about 250. And so, and that's like the, who was the guy who used to write the big, thick books? He just passed away.
Mitchner?
No,
Oh,
God, I can't think of his name. I won't read his books.
those are just too long.
I'm a slow reader. I'll be 6 months reading that thing. And then I forget what I'm reading, and I got to go back and start over again.
Well, then you can think of this as a bonus. See, you got 50 extra pages as a bonus or so.
Now, do you get confused with all these characters? You have a lot of characters.
I have a lot
in
of
there.
characters, and I have to keep writing them down. I write them down, and I have a log of who they are. Sometimes the color of their eyes, because it's again with Ethel and her love interest. I looked into his were those brown? Oh, did he have wavy hair? Did he have straight hair? So you have to keep everybody straight.
Yeah.
And when occurrences are happening, I have to make sure people's ages match up with that. If I reference World War II, well, then that means I have to make sure that that person was of that age.
Yeah.
And the same way when she is auditioning for her role as a journalist. My character is a budding journalist and is about to leave her town, but one of her auditions for the Boston Herald is to go to a Red Sox game and to then write something about it. So she's in the press booth with her father. And so I went back and made sure that on that day, that was the exact game.
Yeah. and
Which is a wonderful
and
thing.
who's playing?
Who's playing, who's pitching.
Yeah, you don't have Poppy back then.
Yeah, no. They had Yastrzemski and Louis Tiant was pitching, and so all of that. So to be very precise about going back.
So there's research in fiction.
Oh, there is. If you want to, I could have just said they went to a Red Sox game, but I think there is a lot more interest when you go, that was this game for Carl Yastrzemski and all of that.
Well, plus the Red Sox fan that's going to read that saying,
Oh, yeah.
she's right.
Right, yeah, yep. And I learned that I can mention places like they went to LL Bean or they went to, whatever. Because the rest of the location and places that they go are real.
Yeah.
The only thing is Piney Bluffs is not real. It's just this little place I go to in my mind,
And that's a good place to be.
It is. A lot of people say that they really liked getting into it, getting to know them, leaving everything that clutters our lives on a daily basis, getting rid of that, and just being able to relax and just kind of like cozy into it. And just
Well, that's the thing. I kept reading it, and I kept putting it down. I had things to do, and I come back and like, I got to read this. and that's what I would do is go back and read some more of it.
Right.
And was this the article that you sent me? Was that the publisher that wrote it?
The publisher, yes, just did a press release for me. Yes.
Jane says that her love of outdoor life, coupled with a sense of humor, have brought her first book of the Gone Fishing trilogy to the public eye. And she shares that Gone Fishing started as a series of newsletters, Fishing Weekly. Now, you wrote that.
Right, that's right, yes.
And which became a wildly popular.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is stuff like that happens.
That's right. I grew up in Canterbury, so it was like I and my father hunted and fished. So I was the last girl and the last hope for a boy. So I got to tag along on all the hunting and fishing things. So it's like I've fished in the brook.
Son.
Yeah, that's it. I fished in the brook. I put the worm on my hook. I've gone deep sea fishing. I've gone fishing on Lake Ontario. So it's like, so some of the things about fishing that I write about, people are going, hey, that kind of sounds like it's right on point. And I go, yeah. It is. I knew that.
Very good book. Now, where can we buy this book?
This book is available at Amazon and on Barnes & Noble. It is also an ebook. So again, at Amazon, Google for your Nooks and Kindles can be there. And locally, I have placed it in Bank Square Books in Mystic.
Excellent place.
Yeah. And then I'm just going to be a thorn in the sides of every Barnes & Noble store because I'll be going in and say, excuse me, hi, this is my book. Can you carry this, please?
Yeah, you carry it well.
That's right, yeah.
Now, that's at Bank Square Books, it's probably the premier bookstore around here now.
Right, yeah. And I'm going to do a signing there in May on the Saturday, the day before Mother's Day. So I believe that's May 13th.
Oh.
So I'll be doing a book signing there. which will be nice.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's a great day and we get lots
I'll
of...
remind me, I'll send it out to the rest of the crew.
Good, okay.
And I'll try to be there.
Yep.
Ruth Crocker is having something, but it's on a Sunday at 2 o'clock. I'm busy on Sundays. I can't remember where it is. I'll be sending it out. And but they, everybody's got something going, and it's neat.
Well, yeah, and with a book now, you have to be your own marketing person. So I'm very thankful for this opportunity to be in front of all the thousands and thousands of watchers viewers. That's the viewers that you have.
Well, I think local artists are not heard of enough. We don't get our name all over the place. I do because I'm public.
That's right. Yeah.
And but people don't know, and there's so many good authors, local authors there.
Right, there are. I mean, thanks to the Connecticut Author Trail is a wonderful program.
Is it? Are you going to be in there?
I'm going to be. Yes, I live in the town of Baltic, or Sprague, whichever you like to call it, and I'll be their featured author this summer. The Connecticut Author Trail starts in July and ends in September, but every Tuesday and Thursday, the trail stops at one of the different libraries throughout the area, and then with their featured author, and then at the end there is all of the authors gather at Mohegan Sun in the Cabaret. I believe it is September 14th in the evening. People can come in, meet local authors. We get a chance to sell our books.
Oh, that's good.
So it's really a nice thing. And during the summertime, it's like it's at night. So wherever you happen to be, you can go to the Connecticut Authors Trail. They have a website and just find out who they are.
Yeah, I know they've done it for a couple of years, and I haven't been on it myself. But
you could couple the Connecticut Authors Trail with the wine trail, and you could have a really good time.
Yeah. Yeah, you could sell books to the wine bottles.
Right, yeah.
I had 3 bottles and sold 1 book.
There we go. Well, hey, we have to think something for someone.
It goes on to say that Ethel strains against the warm confines of her father. He's a nice guy.
He is. Ethel's father is such a peach.
Yes.
Ethel's mom died when she was born. She was, her mother lived for a few days before she passed away. And so Ethel has been raised by her father. And then all of these other folks that you meet are kind of her surrogate moms, Miss Ruthie the baker. She has some aunts. And but he's just been, he's never gone and had another girlfriend or anything, as much as Ethel urges him to go and to do that. And he's just been right there for her.
He's a rough teddy bear.
Yeah, he is. I kind of modeled him after my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the Chesterfield cigarette and all of that. Yes, my dad was a smoker. And so there was always that, how I describe him, where he sits in his chair was, that was my dad, But yeah, it is a nice relationship that they have.
Yeah.
And
I like the way you blended in some of the other women to help the girl grow.
Right.
Because she obviously needed help because her
she
father
did.
wasn't.
No. I mean, he could help her fish, which was good. You need to know how to do that. But then there was everybody else kind of, comprised lots of things. Although he did not support her writing, because Ethel is going to be a journalist, and he doesn't think that that's going to do anything for her. How is she going to get a job? And then, of course, he wants her to stay in Piney Bluffs and work for the local paper.
And besides, who makes money writing?
Yeah, right, yeah. No, raise our hands, okay. But yeah, so the story of Ethel is, again, very strong relations with her dad, trying to figure out, does she stay or does she go from this town? And then what makes her stay, what makes her go? And then
you can see in her just about anything you can in any child who says, I'm going to move out of this town and I'm going to get a good job. I'm going to make a lot of money.
Yeah. I may come back. I'll come back when I have a family because I like this town.
Number one, either they don't go, or number two, they don't come back.
That's right, yeah. Because you can never know both sides of the story.
No.
Yeah, you never can, yeah. And the things that she, that happen along the way, everything is kind of like, it's like kind of going to Walgreens, everything is bright and wonderful, and then all of a sudden one day, here's this person who comes along and brings what everybody thinks is wonderful, but then is like, oh, now, and how do we do that?
You really have to read the book. It is filled with
Twists and turns.
And a little mystery. And
It's got romance, it has mystery, it has humor, it has good food.
yeah, and it's got some characters.
Yes, they are some characters.
Caleb is a character.
Caleb,
Caleb.
the editor, yep.
Yeah.
And his wife.
He's the kind of guy that you wish you could work for.
Yeah, yeah. He has a great wisdom.
Yeah.
So in essence, he's not her father, and he's not a peer, but he's more like a mentor. I think that's what I'd like to say is that
It's like that took a village to raise this kid.
That's right. That is right. That's right. All these great people, and and they all have her best interest in heart.
Yes.
I mean, they all just want her to be, stay and be comfortable and be safe, which is what most parents want their kids to be. They want them to be safe.
But I think the fact that she didn't have a mother, that it's all that the town just kicked in and helped this guy raise that little girl. And to be a beautiful woman, well, I'm assuming she's beautiful.
Yes. That's what.
That's like you said.
Oh, thank you. It was a long time ago that this picture was taken on the front cover of the book.
Very good though, and the hook that was on his belt buckle.
It was. Caleb has a belt buckle that has a hook on it, and Caleb's backstory is that he was going to college and graduated.
That's right.
He went to Maine Maritime, so he was all set to be a mariner, go on a ship, be a captain and whatever.
Yeah.
And just as he was finishing, his father was hit by an MTA bus, train, whatever, passes away. Caleb now has to take care of his mother, and he wants to jump on a ship and just float away and, see the world. Well, Caleb's dad had worked for the Boston Herald, and they called his father the Hook because in his stories, as he was writing the stories, he always knew what to write for a hook to get you to read that.
Yeah.
So that's why they had given Caleb's dad that belt buckle, which is what he wears.
Oh, that's right. And there are so many stories about people that have got those ambitions. It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Jimmy Stewart.
Right.
I mean, it's a worldwide story. It happens everywhere.
It does.
I had a lot of ambition.
Right. Well,
But then I got old.
well, and I think that, anyway, you have those ideals as you're growing up. I mean, and they grow. You want to be a teacher. You want to be a stewardess. You want to do all of these things, and then life happens, and life puts you where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened in this story.
Yeah.
Life has put Ethel where she needs to be so that she can help Piney Bluffs do the things it needs to do and keep everybody happy and wonderful.
And she's probably better off there.
Yes. Well, I mean, she has offered a lot of opportunities that other journalists that graduated with her, go off and go to a big publication, and they're going to stay as the copy editor or the proofreader. Whereas she jumps right in and has to run the paper at a certain point. And so she's learning and doing a lot of things. There's another couple of characters that enter in to the story, and they are from New York. They're two brothers that come out and go fishing. Yes, the Browning brothers. And one of the publications that Caleb and Ethel author is newsletters like my fishing weekly that I used to write. So they pick that up and they put it in one of theirs. So they become good friends, and they're just in love with it. So that's another outlet for Ethel's writings.
You put everything in there. I can't wait for book 2. I think it's going to be good.
Hopefully it will come out sooner. I have it. I'm on track probably to have it be within the year, because I'm a third of the way through it at this point.
We got about 5 minutes. You got anything else you'd like to add in?
No, I thank you so much for this opportunity, and I would hope that your viewing audience can pick this up. This is just a great read. It's a great summer read, for you can just sit there and relax and get away from every day and
it's not something that turns your stomach and you go, oh my God,
no.
murder.
I mean, I know that there are people that like all that, but
well, it's nice for a change.
It's nice for a change. So this is one of those cozy books where you can just appreciate the people there, the things that happen, and feel good when you've gotten to the end of it, and then go, but wait, you didn't tell it. But wait, so that's in the second book.
I just want to point out too that it is available at Amazon. Thanks Square Books.
Right.
If you don't remember that, send me an email.
Right.
I'll let you know where to get it.
Also at Barnes & Noble up in the Yukon downtown area, because I
really?
used to work at Yukon, so I have pestered the Barnes & Noble store there to get it, so it's available there.
Oh, good. Well,
Yeah.
I wish you luck with it because it's a good book,
Oh,
and I appreciate
thank
the
you then.
copy, and I think it's well written. And
Thank you.
Jane is also a member of Southeastern Connecticut Authors and Publishers Association. And that's not why she's on the show. She's on the show because she wrote a book. And it helps.
Yeah, it helps. I know somebody who knew somebody.
Yeah. But as you know, we do books and things. Who have I got next week? Next week, Susan Sharon Peters, about her children's book.
Oh, yes. I
Growing Up Alone.
I met her. Yes, yes.
That should be interesting.
Yep, her books look very interesting.
Yeah. And no, she's the week after next. I think I got Marion Galbraith on next week. She's the retiring mayor of the city of Groton.
Oh.
So she's actually retiring. So I said, well, come on now. Pork Duck VFW will be serving our fish and chips there every Friday until Easter. For more information, either contact me or call the VFW at 860-599-2404. There's plenty of parking. There's no stairs. They got ramps, and we'll seat about 200 people at one time. Big place. Come on in and help us out. For previously aired shows, tune in to sec-tv.org and click on the YouTube button and search the site for Books and Things with Tom. And this show will be on Monday on YouTube. I just recently completed the 8-week heroin addiction series. They're all on the tube now. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing a medical marijuana study. Not that I've studied it, because I have no idea what it is. Just like the heroin, I have no idea. But I got a doctor that's coming in. We're going to be talking about medical marijuana, goods, bad, whatever, and what's good for. Also, check my Facebook page, Books and Things with Tom, for updates. Anything new, I'll post it on there. Send me a note. Let me know what you'd like to see, or if it's something else, if you like the show. And drop it at santostom@comcast.net. Thank you for watching. And you should be reading, and this is a good book to start with. Cuddle up with a good book, even though it's spring, it's still a little chilly at night. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being on here.
Thank you, Tom.